Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your new moon in Gemini reading for you. There is a lot here about breaking a kind of mental clutter, fog, exploring the way words and our emotions shape our reality, shape our goals, our intentions. Um, and this is impacting you, particularly in that area of significant partnerships in your life, defined in any way with anyone, a group of people, or a goal or an opportunity that you choose, reflecting on your own experience. So let's get started here with a yogic path oracle. And I pulled tapas, which is self-discipline. And I'm going to read from the guidebook. You've gotten where you are because of your discipline, and this will continue to take you where you need to go. While discipline sounds like a heavy word, it's really just committing to becoming the best version of yourself. The next evolvement will require refinement of your inner strength. You're undergoing a deep transformation, stepping outside of your comfort zone, gaining strength, moving through fear. Now it's time to ask yourself about the important questions. What practices have I committed to? What practices do I still need to commit to? Is my daily routine serving me? How can I improve it? Where do I need to set boundaries in my life to further align with my truth? Am I showing up for myself the way I would for a friend or child? All deep questions and really reflective of the intense transformation that you're experiencing right now. This is necessarily impacting on your relationship with others because it is about your relationship to yourself. And from the soul's journey, I pulled health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. And I think the connection here is quite literal. Speaks about the microcosm of your personhood, your health, the conditions of your literal body, and the embodiment of your mission, your truth, your character, your talent, your skills or gifts. So how is this being adjusted right now? I dare say for many of you, like myself, illness becomes something that we manifest as a way to address issues in our environment, within our bodies, within ourselves. For the present, I pulled the star for you. Interesting, Leo got this same card in the same position. That may be relevant to some of you. The star is about our North Star. It can describe a vision, but this is more about the direction of your vision, being pulled towards a greater vision you have, the eternal nudging, the eternal aspiration and reaching for something that you know is out there for you. This generally can be understood as a better world within your own environment, a better you. All things that reflect on the possibilities for the larger community. In the past, the Wheel of Fortune. And I get a really clear picture here of a tremendous passage of time for many of you. The story is about your putting your feet on a very clear path of a mission, of your purpose, long in the past, or perhaps early in life, and pursuing that as far as it could take you until there was a call that you understood that returned you to your roots. And that has been what felt like a deviation for quite a while until you began to understand that this was actually empowering your vision in new ways. This was you building that inner strength required to move, change, in a direction that would be of greater benefit to the world and returned you to your path. So this is showing me a lot of experiences, a lot of difficulties, perhaps a lot of ups and downs along the way that you're now accepting as being all a part of your movement towards this better world, this better version of yourself. And in the future, the Eight of Pentacles. This describes precisely the discipline that was mentioned. This is about the steady, consistent work ethic that you apply to everything in your life, primarily your personal development. Your understanding that this is the work that once seemed to be a diversion from your vision of a better life, you now understand is at the core of your vision. In other words, we can't understand the value of our vision without doing the work, making the sacrifices, investing the time, and investing generally in ourselves to understand what we have, the abundance that is within our realm, within our control, and the ability to improve upon that, to work on that, to craft that. I love this card for the feeling of crafting, of making things out of what you have, taking the resources available and improving upon them. And understanding that this improvement not only assures your success, but is preparing you for the opportunities that you know are available to you. If this reading is resonating for you, Sagittarius, please like this reading. Please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate your presence here and all the support that you give me. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to clarify the Wheel of Fortune in the past with a couple of cards. I'll see what that is shortly. Okay, too many here. The Eight of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Let's start there. So, interesting. I think in the past, there were many, many opportunities, insights, inspirations, movements on your part to join with a movement or a current of ideas, action, the movement of people and ideas that you recognized you were a student of. You became a student of spiritual energy, social movements, currents, perhaps a follower of culture in a broad sense. But you realized that you were swept up in larger social changes that were occurring. And as a result of that, you had an opportunity to direct that energy within yourself. And you became a student. You may have become a literal student at a university, in a training program. You may have gone into metaphysical studies at that point and really open yourself up to learning about those things. You engaged in several programs because for many of the Sagittarians I'm speaking to, learning is something that comes natural to you, something that gives you joy. You may have also been a teacher as well, but this is your commitment to recognizing your desire to explore, to expand, and the requirement then that you learn about the new places that you arrive at. In the present, the Star card is clarified by going to take the top two. Oops, there's more than two. So the Knight of Cups, the Star card, the Lovers, and the Ace of Pentacles. So the Star card is clarified with the Star card. Okay, so This is just confirming to me that you're back on track. You've long been back on track, but this time it has involved a heart opening in a way that wasn't quite available to you or was raw when you were in the earlier stages of this particular path or journey. This feels as though something that has emerged through your studies, through your openness to learning, is your creative imagination. You came to acknowledge yourself as an artist, as a creator, even if that means being a business owner, being a healer. Whatever way that you opened up, you recognized one of your powers, your gifts, was your tremendous emotional capacity, your sensitivity, your intuition, your a willingness to be in the space of others, to feel, to be compassionate, to empathize with them. And this is what is opening up this path that you continue to stay on. Because the Wheel of Fortune appeared here, this has been a long path. It was long in the past, and it's still a long path for you. But wow, the treasures you've accumulated along the way are joyful, are full of gratitude for what you feel you've been naturally gifted with. And that includes a kind of sight, a kind of gift that puts you in alignment with guidance. And this is something you have never left. You've never lost this openness to being guided, openness to the voice of your ancestors. This is something that only is amplified more and more, but it comes from the heart. It comes from past life experiences that are making themselves known to you more and more clearly. And to be clear, many of you that I'm speaking with have had early experiences of prior lives, a path that you may be completing in this lifetime, but the details of that have gotten fuller and been confirmed without a doubt. In the future, the Eight of Pentacles is clarified by the Lovers and the Ace of Pentacles. I feel like you're restoring the sense of relationship, the power of relationship in your life. I think that it might have been a more romantic idea for you in the past. It may have been wrapped up with your ability to draw powerful people or imaginative, creative people towards you. And I feel a greater sense of passivity in the past, even as you realize you have been an anchor in most of your relationships. You've brought a level of wisdom, knowledge, practicality that really anchored what might have been the joining of two rather ephemeral energies, yours and others. And this knowledge of the richness and depth of your own relationship to yourself, which you have allowed to blossom throughout the more recent time. You've acknowledged that everything that has come to you through your ability to manifest it based on a wish to see it come into your life, recognizing that you have that magical skill, even despite years of studying and training. You're putting less thought to it now. You're allowing yourself to simply be who you are and manifest the abundance that you now understand you are worthy and capable of generating. This isn't just abundance for yourself. That is a residual result of the efforts you're making on behalf of your community, your family, the world in some way. But you are now understanding that you're worthy of comfort, of the abundance that will allow you to further explore and grow in the world in new ways. It's really a validation of the path that you've always taken. And yet now you understand that this needs to be supported. You deserve to be supported for the work that you do. And I'm going to pull a outcome based on the health card, honoring the vessel that enshrines your soul. So there's the Two of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Yeah, I'm picking up that many of you have a kind of bifurcation, a dualistic sense about wealth, about comfort, about legacy. Not perhaps for some of you being privy to a lot of financial legacy. You question how it works or how it's supposed to work in your life. On the other hand, you recognize that everything you have is a result of a legacy of spiritual guidance, of divinity, of prior lives experience. And on the basis of that, that indeed is the legacy, the willingness and desire to give back to others, to help others, to gain access to the resources you've had access to, the recognition that you've always been abundant and that abundance has always been available to you, even if you haven't always chosen it. That not choosing it in the past can be about not feeling ready, not feeling worthy, not feeling deserving, believing you had to be ready. And you now realize that really you're ready when it happens. And I think this is a major revelation for many of you. This abundance occurs through your relationships, or more broadly speaking, all of your exchanges. Love, money are the exchanges we typically go to, but this is any way in which you're balancing giving and receiving. So this is a wonderful card of recognizing the bounty of your life, the ability to enjoy the bounty of the world. I'm finishing this with a Language of Flowers oracle, and I've pulled the anemone, and the key word is optimism. Look up and look brightly. And Sagittarius, this is your byword. And I think it's particularly relevant as I think for many of you, you've been feeling out of sorts in a deeper depth than has been customary to your optimistic, positive nature. Your desire to cheer others on, to help others, has been occluded somehow over recent time because of the work that you've needed to do to understand what is available to you, to polish up those resources, to improve the self. Now you're ready. Now you're seeing the beautiful brightness that is available to you. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.